Okay, so I'm starting another weekly vlog, and this one's starting right after the one you would have just seen before this. It's the same day, just later on, and I'm in the kitchen doing a bunch of things. It's close to dinner time, but I was trying to whip up some sourdough recipes, so I'm gonna flip the camera around in just a minute and show you them. I have a variety of sourdough things going on. I have dinner I need to finish doing. I might get some organization done in the pantry, we'll see. And then I don't know if there was something else. I think that's about what we're doing right now. My husband's outside with some of our kids. It's really hot here this week. It's getting up into the hundreds, the like low hundreds, which is very hot for us. And so they go outside, but it's not the nicest time to be outside because it's just really warm. So anyway, I'm gonna flip you around and show you these things I'm working on, and then just you can follow me around the kitchen as I work on a few things. All right, so I have English muffin dough here. I'm gonna put the lid on, go put it in the fridge, and it will sit there overnight, and maybe I'll show you when I cook them up in the morning. And then I just have some regular sourdough loaves here. I'm about to add the salt in. They've just been sitting here for about 20 minutes. So add the salt and knead them a little bit more, and then let them sit for 30 minutes, knead them some more, and on until I put them in the fridge and let them sit overnight as well. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. All right, so I am new-ish to sourdough. It's only been maybe 6 months, so don't critique my methods here. I'm learning and practicing, and I really like these bowls. I think I showed them in a haul I got from Hobby Lobby or something. And then here I am making broccoli, which is all you're gonna see for dinner because I didn't show the rest of it. I think the night got kind of busy, and I really ended up not being able to do as much as I thought I was going to do, but I did steam some broccoli, and then on to the next day, because again, that night was just so busy. I didn't get as much done as I was hoping to. But here is the English muffin dough. And so I'm just pushing this out. I'm gonna roll it out. This is something that my husband really enjoys. He really likes the English muffins. And so you'll see later on that after I make them and everything, I put them in the freezer for him. And so he just pulls them out in the morning and has them for breakfast. But here I am cutting them out. I still am struggling to figure out the best way to do this, because sometimes I do it when it's cold dough right out of the fridge, and sometimes that works better, and sometimes they don't rise as well. And yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I do really well and they come out really great, but I have only done it a handful of times, like make English muffins. So it's still a work in progress of trying to figure out the best way to do it. The first ones always roll out the best because the dough is cold, and then you get these ones as the dough warms up that don't look as good. But I'm not gonna put it in the refrigerator and try, let it cool down again. So this is just what we do, and they still turn out fine. They just look a little different. So they're gonna go in the oven now for 10 minutes on each side in a Dutch oven at 425 and cook them up. This process takes a little while to do just because only so many can fit in the Dutch oven at a time. So we're gonna get started on that. Look at this sourdough. It's been in the fridge overnight and it is poofed up a ton. I didn't show it to you before I put it in the bowls, but I'm gonna pour it out and laminate it and shape it and let it proof a little bit on the counter before I put it in the bowls. So here we go. So like I said, I am new-ish to sourdough. And so here I am laminating the dough, or getting ready to kind of laminate, stretch it out. And this sometimes works really well for me. I found a recipe that I like better. I was using one from a cookbook that I still really enjoyed, but I actually like this one better, which I think is just from Farmhouse on Boone, from here on YouTube and stuff. And so I've really liked this better. It just turns out consistently better, at least for me. And so that's what I'm making right here. You can see the English muffins that haven't been cooked yet. And then I'm getting this dough already. This type of sourdough takes a while. Like, it's a process, of going through all the dough, doing all the stretches and folds the first day, letting it sit. and then you laminate it and, you know, create surface tension and put it in a container to be cooked. And you know, to sit in that container for longer, like it has to sit in there for even more hours. You know, it's a whole process. I think somewhere in here you will see a finished loaf of sourdough bread, but it just takes a really long time. And this is me doing English muffins, putting them in a Dutch oven. I do a few at a time. Here's the sourdough. Again, you know, we're jumping back and forth, but that's what they look like now. You know, all the surface tension. But the English muffins, you know, we put them in the oven. And then while I'm doing other things like cleaning the pantry out, here I'm just cleaning a whole bunch of stuff from the pantry, then I will work on the English muffins. You know, they'll cook for 10 minutes one side, I'll flip them over, do something else for 10 minutes, flip them over, like take them out and start the next batch. So if I'm working around the kitchen or just kind of cleaning around the house, it works out, you know, because it does take like a couple hours depending on how many I've made to get through them all. But like you saw, I am cleaning out our pantry. It always requires some sort of reorganization just because we use it all the time. And so even though everything has a place, it gets taken out of its place. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm replenishing some snacks and things like that so that my kids have them. I think these bins are just from Amazon, and I really enjoy them for some of our snacks just because the bags get ripped and then the snacks go everywhere. So the bins keep them from going everywhere, and it's really, really nice for a mom that doesn't want to clean up snacks all the time. Okay, we had to take a quick break from cleaning to do groceries and lunch and nap time. So maybe we'll get back to it in a little bit. He wants some cookies. He sees there's cookies over there. So I was just going to go through this real quick and add it to this video. But I got a lot of produce. A lot of this is just for dinners and a little bit extra for like lunches and stuff. Sorry, my kids are being crazy in the background if you can hear them. So we have grapes, coleslaw for, I think it's like pulled pork sandwiches or something. So I made the coleslaw. I'm really the only one that eats it. We're not going to have cookies right now. We're going to eat lunch in a minute. Or the M&Ms. And then just some more romaine for salad, some avocados. They're not ripe yet, but we'll use them as they get ripe. Put the strawberries back, buddy. Hey, guys, can you please stop? And then cucumbers, some dill, and some matchstick carrots. Sorry, I'm not even showing you what's going on because there's too much craziness going on behind the camera. Some green onions, a whole bunch for one of the dinners we're having, like a Korean beef. Some celery, I like to put this in just like a chicken salad. Cilantro, cauliflower, which I saw Shea Whitney use this buffalo sauce on cauliflower, so I thought I would try. I had gotten this once before, but like in a Thrive Market box, but that didn't use it, so I got some minced garlic. I used to be very much just cut it all myself, fresh garlic person, but this is way easier, especially when I'm busy. So it's one of the places that I am just like, I'm fine with getting it this way. And so then I got the Primal buffalo sauce. We were out of ground mustard and I needed that for recipe. And I'm almost out of balsamic vinegar and I also needed that. I think it's a balsamic chicken. I can't remember exactly. And then the basil is for leftovers for that chicken to make like panini sandwiches, which is what this Havarti is for as well. And then butter, we were almost out of butter. Yogurt, this little guy loves yogurt for breakfast. So yogurt, applesauce, and then strawberries right here, and peppers. They put them in just a normal bag. The Oreo Thins are have become my favorite cookie, but I love Oreo Thins and mini M&Ms for our protein ice cream that we do in the Ninja Creamy. So that's what that's for. Okay, I'm back. We have hopefully a little bit of noise management, but I have potatoes. I like to use these for lunch too. I'll just cut them into cubes and put them in the air fryer for a quick side to my lunch. And then onions, we were out of purple onions or red onions, whatever you want to call them. And bread, eggs, a whole bunch of eggs. And then syrup, we were almost out of syrup. And then this Fairlife chocolate milk, This has a good amount of protein in it, and so I like to mix it and make like protein shakes with protein powder and collagen. So I got some of that, milk, more milk, and then some plain yogurt. I use this for baking or cooking stuff, different recipes, especially in like replacing not cottage cheese, sour cream, because it has more protein in it. And then orange juice concentrate, which we use for smoothies. So I think that is all. That was pretty fast. Okay, so this is later on in that same day. The English muffins have been cooked, and like I said at the beginning, I like to cut them and then I'll put them in a baggie and just put them in the freezer. But it's much easier when they're already cut, because then you don't have to try to thaw them all the way out. You know, my husband can just warm them up a little bit in the microwave and then put them in the toaster or whatever, if that's what he wants to do. And it's not super difficult. So I like to pre-cut them, makes everybody's lives easier. And then I accidentally got these humongous Ziploc baggies. I absolutely love them. I was so glad. Like, they're so big and so nice for so many things. So, you know, I don't use them for everything, but I like having them on hand just in case. And these are the bins. These are from Walmart, but I use these a lot in our pantry to just organize things, to store kids' snacks. And I think I'm putting some different containers that have M&Ms, chocolate chips, stuff like that in this particular bin. But I just really love them. Like I said, they're from Walmart. I don't know if I could find them online. I've just bought them in store, several at a time, you know, because I usually would buy all the ones that they had. So I'm going through, and I don't do this every time I clean my pantry. I try to clean the pantry maybe every couple months, or just reorganize it. Just, again, we use it so it gets messy. And every once in a while, maybe once a quarter, I guess, maybe, you know, every other time I clean the pantry, I will deep clean the containers and do a more thorough clean, because they just get crumbs and get gross fingers on them. And then we also collect mason jars, like I'll bottle chicken and stuff. So as we use the chicken, they just get put on a shelf in the pantry. And so then I never put them away. They have a container in the basement. And so I was putting them away. And here is the promised sourdough bread. You know, somewhere along the line, it got cooked through that whole process. It just takes a really long time, but that was a sourdough. And here's the pantry. I don't have really a good before, but it's much less cluttered, looks much cleaner, and I was happy about it. Like, it quickly becomes a mess again, but at least it looks nice for a second. And then I also needed to refill my spices. I have a whole bunch of spices in these little containers. I think they're from IKEA. And I have labels on them, and they just are in my top drawer that I'm standing right in front of. And so I just refill them every once in a while. And it was like way past time for them to be refilled. I'll get like new spices and just put them in my cupboard. And the spices just keep piling up because they need to be put into the containers in the drawer, and I just don't do it. And I think I'm dancing to music here, but also doing a happy dance, because I am gonna empty this whole container into this jar, and emptying spices makes me so happy. When the jars are all the way empty, the last one was so close to being empty, but wasn't completely. But see, I am so excited because I can throw away a jar. And here's a brief little baby. And then this is basically the end of the video. I did not do an outro. It was kind of a crazy time, and life has still been really crazy, but thanks for watching, enjoying my spice making, and I will see you next time.